Welcome to today's deep dive, where we tackle the question everyone's whispering about: is AI coming for your job, or is it just bringing fancy new office furniture? It's a topic that's sparking, well, everything from excitement to outright panic.
And that spark for our conversation today, yeah, it really ignites from a compelling article by Sebastian Skudlara. But look, we're not here to just recite it.
No.
We've pulled together, a whole stack of fascinating research to really peel back the layers and understand what this AI revolution means for the world of work. Think of it as our collective mission, maybe, to cut through some of the noise.
Exactly. We're going to take some of the big ideas presented, challenge them, push back a little, see where we agree, where we find nuanced differences, and perhaps where we just get wonderfully, and I dare say, necessarily sarcastic. Because, let's be honest, the future of work isn't just evolving, it's putting on a rather dramatic show right now.
It really is.
Okay, let's unpack this opening idea then. The article paints this vivid picture of a job market currently in what it calls AI puberty.
Right, AI puberty.
Unpredictable, confusing, and with more than a few mood swings. On the surface, the U.S. economy, as of mid-2025, looks pretty robust. Around 73,000 jobs added in July, unemployment hovering at a healthy 4.2%. Those are, the big macro numbers that suggest stability.
Yeah, it looks okay from 30,000 feet.
But here's where the narrative shifts significantly.
Yeah.
The article argues that beneath this calm exterior, entry-level workers are truly facing, well, significant headwinds. They're getting hammered.
And what's truly striking here, and this connects directly to those entry-level struggles, is just how rapidly AI has moved from some theoretical concept to like an everyday tool. The article describes it as becoming office furniture, meaning it's just there, integrated, commonplace. Consider this: 23% of employed workers were already reporting weekly use of generative AI tools as of late 2024.
23%, wow.
Yeah. And just for clarity, generative AI tools, we're talking systems that can create new content, text, code, images, not just analyze what's already there. That's an astonishingly quick adoption rate.
It really is.
And while those overall economic numbers might seem stable, when you dig into the specifics for July, we see a significant increase of 275,000 new entrants. That's unemployed individuals actively looking for their first job.
Okay.
And another 179,000 long-term unemployed. These aren't just typical economic fluctuations. They strongly suggest AI isn't some distant thing. It's a very present force, creating friction and reshaping the labor market in ways that go beyond a standard economic cycle.
So if we're sticking with this AI puberty analogy, right?
Yeah.
Is this just an awkward growth spurt that'll eventually settle down? Or is this teenager having a full-blown existential crisis because a robot can now write its college essays and do its data entry faster than anyone can say synergy?
Yeah.
What's the fundamental shift here?
Well, I think it's definitely more than an awkward growth spurt. It's a fundamental transformation, and transformations are rarely graceful, are they?
No, they're messy.
Yeah. The core insight from these sources is that the labor market isn't collapsing, but it is undergoing a rapid, often turbulent metamorphosis. The speed of AI integration is, frankly, unprecedented, and it's this acceleration that creates such intense pressure, particularly on those trying to just, establish their careers. It's about what types of tasks are being automated and who performs those tasks.
And that brings us perfectly to another great analogy the article uses.
Yeah.
AI can either be the Terminator,
Right.
meaning full job-replacing automation,
Yeah.
or the Sidekick, which is augmentation, where it works alongside us. We've seen it replace routine tasks like basic data entry or generating customer support scripts, but it also has this incredible potential to free us up for more creative, complex work.
So for those listening, which role is AI playing in your job right now, or the jobs you're seeing? And is the distinction really that clear-cut?
That distinction, Terminator versus Sidekick, raises an absolutely critical question for our careers. Does AI upgrade or downgrade jobs? It's not just if AI touches your role, but how it touches it.
If AI automates simple, repetitive tasks, think of a bookkeeper's basic data entry, for example, the remaining work often demands more specialized expertise. It requires analysis, problem-solving, critical thinking.
Okay.
The result: those jobs can become more valued, specialized, and surprisingly, even better paid. The sources point out that for bookkeepers, we've seen a nearly 40% rise in real hourly wages, even as employment in the role fell by a third.
Wow, 40% increase.
Yeah, it suggests AI elevates the human role by removing the mundane, allowing us to focus on higher value activities.
But the flip side is equally compelling and arguably more concerning for some people. If AI targets the most specialized and sort of unique tasks within a role, it can actually downgrade that job.
Right.
Think about taxi drivers. Before GPS, their deep local street knowledge was a specialized skill, honed over years, and it was invaluable.
Absolutely. The knowledge in London, for example.
Exactly. Once GPS came along, that specific, highly specialized expertise was automated. Oof. The job became more accessible to anyone, which commoditized it and pushed wages down. It essentially stripped away what made the role unique and valuable in the first place, making it more generic service.
You've highlighted a crucial distinction there. The Stanford and MIT research by Otter and Thompson really drives this point home. They emphasize it's not just if AI touches your job, but which specific tasks it interacts with.
Right, the which.
A Microsoft study, for instance, found that many users of tools like Copilot, that's Microsoft's AI assistant for coding and writing, primarily used it for information gathering and drafting, tasks where AI truly excels.
Makes sense.
And Jensen Huang, NVIDIA's CEO, he notes AI's value in taking over time-consuming cognitive tasks. Understanding this nuance is absolutely crucial for figuring out whether AI will polish your career path or potentially make it shakier. It's about how your unique human skills intersect with AI's expanding capabilities.
Now, what's particularly alarming, especially if you're early in your career or thinking about one, is the emergence of what the article calls a generational fault line.
Yeah, that's a strong term.
It is. It makes a bold claim. AI is disproportionately impacting younger, entry-level professionals. A pioneering Stanford study unveiled a rather stark finding. A 13% relative decline in employment for workers aged 22-25 in AI-exposed occupations since late 2022.
13%? Oof.
That's not just a statistic. It feels like a real gut punch for those trying to get a foothold in their chosen fields. In sharp contrast, older, more experienced workers. Their employment in similar roles remained stable or even grew by 6-9%. What does this data signal about the very first steps on the career ladder?
Well, I'd say this is more than a signal. It's a blaring alarm. And it paints a concerning picture of what we're terming a generational talent gap.
Right.
Historically, entry-level tasks, whether it's writing basic code, answering routine customer queries, summarizing reports, they served as foundational training grounds. They were the bottom rungs of the career ladder.
How you learn the ropes.
Exactly. Allowing young professionals to gain experience, build skills, prove their worth. Now, these very tasks are, as the article aptly puts it, AI snacks. They're low-hanging fruit, easily and efficiently consumed by generative AI.
AI snacks, I like that. Depressing, but accurate.
Yeah. It means the traditional career ladder is, in many cases, losing its bottom rungs entirely. How do young workers gain foundational experience when AI can perform those first-tier jobs?
That's the million-dollar question.
And we're seeing the fallout. Unemployment among 20-30-year-olds in tech-exposed occupations has risen by nearly 3 percentage points since early 2025. It's a systemic issue that's making it profoundly harder for new graduates to acquire that crucial early experience.
So we're not just talking about some minor turbulence here. It sounds like a fundamental reshaping of career entry and progression.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder how we'll even define experience in the next decade if the usual starting points are just gone. And it's not just about age, is it? There are other divides opening up.
Precisely. The impact of this shift extends beyond a simple age bracket. It also exposes an AI class divide.
Okay, that.
This refers to a situation where access to cutting-edge AI tools and, crucially, the formal training to effectively use them is disproportionately given to senior employees. We're talking 17% of C-suite executives receiving formal AI training versus a mere 3.7% of entry-level staff.
Wow, that's a huge gap.
It is. And this disparity intensifies stress for those who are often using AI the most, maybe informally, but receiving the least support or strategic guidance.
So the people using it don't get the training, but the bosses do.
Often, yes. And it gets more complex.
Yeah.
In high-income nations, a disproportionately high 9.6% of women's jobs are at risk due to AI compared to 3.2% of men's.
9.6 versus 3.2.
Why? It indicates that existing societal and economic distributions of labor, where women are often concentrated in administrative, clerical, or certain service roles, make those specific professions more vulnerable to AI automation. It exacerbates existing inequalities.
Okay, those are some stark numbers, really revealing deep-seated structural issues there. So if we look at the landscape of jobs, Where exactly are these AI blast zones, as the article calls them, and what constitutes a safe zone? Which professions should we be thinking about for, career longevity in this AI-dominated world?
When we talk about the AI blast zone, we're generally looking at jobs that involve a lot of routine, codified, and information-based tasks.
Right.
The article highlights roles like clerical and administrative staff, customer service reps, paralegals, research analysts, content writers focusing on, say, repetitive output, and many traditional accounting and auditing positions, as well as data entry clerks.
Basically, rule-based information work.
Pretty much. If your job primarily involves processing information, following clear rules, or generating standardized outputs, AI is rapidly developing the capacity to handle a significant portion of it. Now, this doesn't mean the entire job disappears overnight.
Right, not necessarily Terminator time.
Not necessarily, but the nature of the work fundamentally changes, often requiring far fewer human hands for those specific tasks.
So if your job could be easily explained in a flowchart or a detailed instruction manual, maybe consider yourself in the blast zone.
That's a decent rule of thumb, yeah.
But what about the AI resilience zone? Where's the sanctuary in this new economy?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the jobs that are proving most resilient and are indeed projected to see significant growth are those rooted in uniquely human qualities.
Okay, like what?
We're talking about roles that demand social skills, emotional intelligence, complex interpersonal relationships, and an innate capacity for empathy. Think about healthcare professionals. Nurse practitioners, physical therapists, mental health counselors.
Yeah, the human touch.
Exactly. Their roles are projected to grow dramatically. Nurse practitioners, a stunning 52% increase projected from 2023 to 2033.
52%.
Huge. Teachers, creative professionals like choreographers and leaders or managers are also in this safe zone. Why? Because their core functions require a blend of human judgment, vision, originality, and the ability to inspire and guide others, qualities that AI still fundamentally struggles to replicate. It's about jobs that require understanding the messy, unpredictable human condition.
So my ability to tell a compelling story, even about something as potentially dry as labor statistics, might actually be my AI-proof superpower. Good to know.
Could be.
Perhaps my job security relies on my ability to make even more awkward analogies.
Huh.
It seems the uniquely human element is about connecting, innovating, and navigating complexity that just doesn't fit a neat pattern.
Indeed. And you're not alone in thinking that. The World Economic Forum identifies creative thinking as a skill that will rise sharply in importance by 2030.
Makes sense.
The emerging new skills economy isn't about choosing between human or machine. It demands a sophisticated blend. We'll still need technical skills like AI and machine learning development, cybersecurity, advanced data analysis, but equally, if not more, crucial will be human-centric skills. Emotional intelligence, creativity, critical thinking, and what's called high judgment.
High judgment.
Yeah, the ability to discern what's truly valuable from all the AI-generated noise, to ask the right questions, and to make nuanced decisions that, frankly, only a human can. The most valuable workers in this new landscape will be hybrids.
Hybrids.
Or, as the article so perfectly terms them, AI whisperers, those who can effectively bridge the gap between cold logic and warm humanity.
AI whisperers. I like
Yes.
that. Sounds like a much cooler job title than prompt engineer. Okay, so this sounds like a massive reshuffle, and what's fascinating is that AI's impact isn't playing out uniformly worldwide. The article highlights some stark geographical differences.
Yeah, it's not one size fits all.
In East Asia and the Pacific, for instance, we're seeing significant low-skilled displacement. Developing countries, while facing maybe less immediate job threat, are also seeing fewer of the benefits AI can offer. Then you have Europe, often focusing on responsible AI deployment and even debating ideas like a 4-day work week.
Right, reflecting broader societal values.
Meanwhile, countries like the US and India might see AI used in ways that increase hustle culture and pressure in certain sectors. It truly highlights how culture, policy, and societal priorities are as critical as the technology itself in shaping the future of work. What do these regional differences tell us about the future, beyond just the tech?
That's a profoundly important point because AI isn't some monolithic force that impacts every society identically. These regional differences reveal that the implementation and the experience of AI are deeply contextual. Take Europe, for instance. Their emphasis on responsible AI often reflects a broader cultural commitment to worker protection, data privacy, a certain quality of life. This influences policy debates like the 4-day work week, which aim to ensure technology enhances well-being rather than solely maximizing productivity.
Which sounds nice.
It does. And this approach stands in stark contrast to more market-driven economies like the US or India, where the primary lens for AI adoption is often efficiency, innovation, economic growth, which can, as you mentioned, intensify pressure or hustle culture in certain industries. These policy choices and cultural values aren't just academic discussions. They profoundly shape the daily reality for workers and fundamentally alter the structure of labor markets. It's about more than just what the tech can do, but what society allows it to do and how it integrates it.
So given this complex, rapidly evolving, geographically varied landscape, what can you, our listener, actually do to navigate this? What's the AI survival kit we should all be putting together right now?
Okay, this is the crucial question, isn't it? And thankfully, our sources lay out a pretty clear, actionable survival kit for navigating this new economy.
Let's hear it.
First, embrace lifelong learning and relentless reskilling. Seriously. The idea of a one-and-done career path, learn a trade once and you're set. It's effectively dead.
Go on.
Continuous education, whether formal courses, certifications, even just self-directed learning and new tools, it's absolutely essential. It's like constantly updating your personal operating system.
Good analogy. Okay, what's next?
Second, actively highlight and cultivate those unautomatable skills. Focus on the uniquely human attributes we discussed. Empathy, emotional intelligence, creativity, strategic thinking, and that high judgment to cut through the AI noise. These are the skills that make you indispensable, not merely efficient.
So lean into being human.
Pretty much. Third, particularly for young professionals, seek out augmentative roles. Look for jobs where AI is positioned as a sidekick, enhancing your capabilities rather than replacing your core functions. Ask in interviews, how does this company leverage AI, and how will it empower me rather than just automate my tasks?
That's a great interview question.
Okay. Fourth, be transparent about your AI use and actively seek formal training. Don't hide that you're using AI. Instead, demonstrate how it enhances your performance. And crucially, push your employers for formal training. Bridging that AI class divide isn't just on the individual. Companies need to invest in upskilling their entire workforce, not just senior management.
Right, shared responsibility.
And fifth, perhaps most importantly, stay relentlessly adaptable. Flexibility isn't just a nice to have, it's your biggest asset in this game. The economic landscape will continue to shift, probably faster than we expect. Those who can pivot, learn, and embrace change will be the ones who thrive.
Okay, so it sounds like if AI ever decides to write all my podcast scripts, and let's be honest, it probably, I'll just pivot to experiential goat yoga instructor with advanced prompt engineering skills.
There you go. The perfect hybrid role.
Got it. It's about being nimble and finding where humanity still holds the ultimate competitive advantage. And that's where we'll leave today's deep dive on AI, the future of jobs, and that ever-present, sometimes alarming generational fault line. We've covered a lot, from AI puberty to building your personal AI survival kit.
We certainly didn't solve the future today, did we?
No, definitely not.
But I hope we've provided some crucial frameworks for understanding it. What stands out to you from this conversation? What specific skill or area will you be looking to learn and develop next as you navigate this transformation? Something to think about.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, AI isn't just stealing all the jobs. It's rearranging the office furniture at a dizzying pace. The trick now isn't to fear the shuffle, but to learn how to expertly decorate and perhaps even redesign this new office space. Go forth, be adaptable, and become an AI whisperer.